All right, team. So let's pick back up where we left off before. The last time we talked about user management. So I want to pick up now and go into a little bit more depth about roles and profiles. So I'm going to pull up one of my users. Okay. So we talked about the profile. The profile is what you see, and the role is what you can do. Okay. And then just about 99.9% of everyone is going to have a Salesforce license. Okay. So let's take a look at this particular user's profile. Remember, Salesforce comes with standard out of what they call out of the box, which means included. So sorry. Which means included profile. So that means they build a profile for you. And if you take a look here, remember, profiles is what you see. So this governs what your page layouts are going to look like. It governs what fields you can or cannot see. It governs which apps that are associated with Salesforce you can see into what level, what connected apps you have. This doesn't come up a lot. Service provider access, your tab settings for your different tabs in Salesforce, what record types you have access to. We'll get into that later. That's basically when you have different objects in Salesforce, if you only want certain users to see certain types of records, you can set them up to where they can have access to record types. We'll talk about that later. Administrative permissions, general user permissions, and then object permissions. Password policies, login hours, IP ranges. None of these ever come into play at the bottom. So what I will say once again, unless you are dealing with someone who is very brand new to Salesforce, they just implemented Salesforce, you never have to worry about setting any of these things. These things will already be set for you. The reason that it's significant that we talk about it is because, of course, it will be on the test. So you do need to understand that a profile governs what you see, basically. And once you get into a role, 9 times out of 10, the company already has these set up. Now, you may run into a situation where they say, hey, Venus, we love the standard profile, but we want 2 to 3 things to be a little bit different, let's say in this area, in the field level security. Well, what you can do is, see, if you click on profiles from setup, you can create your own profile. So if you clicked on new, it will ask you what existing profile is this going to be similar to. So we were just looking at the standard profile, for example. I think it's somewhere in here. Standard, yeah. So in that case, we're saying copy what the standard user profile looks like. But then along the way, I'm going to add a few more things. So we're not going to, add it. We're not going to create a custom profile now. But I'm just trying to give you a real life scenario that you may have. So just remember, profiles are what you can see. Let's go back to our user. So that was their profile. Let's click on their role. Okay. So remember, the role is what you can do. Okay. So it says here for opportunity access, users in this role can edit all opportunities associated with accounts that they own, regardless of who owns the account. And then what they can do, quote unquote, with cases. Users in this role can edit all cases associated with accounts that they own, regardless of who owns them. So this tells you what this user can do. Again, when you come into a company, they're going to already have this set up. A business case scenario is they may say, hey, We no longer want the Eastern sales team to edit opportunities associated accounts with their own. We don't want that to be the case anymore. Okay, let's see here. In which case you could come in and actually create a custom role, just like we did, because this is one that's already built. They may say, hey, we want to keep this, but we want something slightly different. It's the exact same thing when it comes to roles. Okay. And then if you click on roles and you actually, let me go back a step. One last thing, not only does a role govern what you can see, let's click out of here and click back. It also governs who you roll up and report to, right? So here are all the roles in the company. And then you got CEO, CFO. This can be a myriad of different things. So you got sales and marketing here. If you were to click on it, you'll see international sales, marketing, and so on and so forth. So your role determines what you can see and where you fall in the hierarchy. If we take a look back at our user, we can see here, if we click on her role again, it mentions who she reports to. So the people in this role report to director and director of sales. Okay, so just remember that when you're saying a role is what you can do and where you fall in the hierarchy. All right. So also, we talked about how your profile dictates what you see here on the home page when you log in. So let's take a look at how the page layouts are related to profiles. Okay, so if you're on the home page and you want to take a look at what the difference in profiles are in their home pages, you could, where you clicked on home, you can come over here to setup and click on edit page. Okay, and then this drop down will say pages. Now, in an organization, like for example, my organization, we have about 20 different options here. Of course, in training, you're gonna be limited, right? So if we just click on, yeah, right. So for example, this is a home page layout. If we were to go over here to activation, we can find out either who has this particular layout by profile, or we can assign a profile. So if you click on app and profile, you can see here that standard users, which our Pippi Longstocking example, she's a standard user. She's the one who has this layout, okay? But if we said, hey, you got an email, we want other people, not just the standard users, to have this particular layout, you could say add assignments. You always want to select sales, hit next. And these are all the other profiles. See, profiles? These are all the other profiles that you can select from. You can give any of these other people the same layout as the standard user. So when we talk about different profiles and what they can see, this is what we're talking about. Based on your profile, you are assigned a specific page layout for different objects. So not just the home page, but for different objects. And you also have specifics that you can see within the system based on your profile. All right. So that is all for today's lesson. If you have questions, drop down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to assist. Thanks.